Okay, so this is Tony Harper, and I'm here with my brother Stephen Harper on March 15th, 2020. Stephen lives and works in Seoul, South Korea, and we're here to talk about how COVID-19, which is also known as the coronavirus, has affected life in South Korea and what his experience has been from that. So first off, Stephen, tell me what is it that you do in Seoul, and what is life like? What has life been like there with the coronavirus pandemic?
So I teach English in Seoul. I basically teach at an after-school academy. So,
Hmm?
uh, people might know about this, but you can go teach in different countries, and you know, you're able to save money and things like that. So it's a pretty good job. I've been here for almost 3 years now. Um, but yeah, things have changed a lot in the past couple of weeks. So I'd say in the past 2 months,
Yeah.
ramping up from around the beginning of January up until now, things have just changed completely. So, but it's not too.
In what ways have they changed? What's the biggest difference you've seen?
Well, work is the biggest difference, I'd say, because the kids aren't able to come into school, so we're teaching online right now, um, which is working so far. So it's not too bad. And fortunately, I think that the virus is on its way down. I think it was peaking, and
Mhm.
they managed to slow it down here, fortunately. So it doesn't really feel too much different. I'd say a couple weeks ago it felt very different. Um, Now people are cautious, but I don't think that it's going to get any worse from here, hopefully.
Sure,
But
yeah.
we'll have to see how it goes.
So were you under quarantine, or were you recommended to stay at home? Or tell me a little bit about like the mechanics of it, and what the government and the local people were doing to prevent the spread.
So we were not quarantined, actually.
Okay.
So China and Italy, they had the quarantines, but
Hmm.
in South Korea, they did not. It
Hmm.
was basically just, I know, when there was Daegu was the epicenter. So Daegu is a couple hours south of here.
Hmm.
Uh, I don't even think that they had a harsh quarantine there. It was more just advised that you don't go outside. So I live in Seoul,
Yeah.
and definitely in Seoul, there was no quarantine. It was just, you know, stay inside. I mean, there's a lot of other things. The government's been, going all out with this. There's a new case, they would track it. They would track all the details of where the person had been and what buildings they'd visited and what people they'd visited, test all the people that they'd come or where confirmed cases were. Other than that, I mean, it's just a lot of public awareness. Like there's signs everywhere, announcements in multiple languages everywhere. Masks are, I think everybody in the city is wearing a mask. I'd say if I'm on the subway and it's busy and I look around, I'd say maybe two people on a crowded subway are not wearing a mask.
Yeah.
It's a lot of public awareness.
Do you
So,
wear a mask when you go out?
oh yeah, I do. I
Yeah.
have mine here.
Oh yeah.
It's a really heavy duty one. This one's got like a replaceable filter, but yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
it's pretty crazy. I mean, but I'm used to it because we wear them here for the dust, for the
Yeah.
pollution
Yeah.
anyway. So it's not really that much different than normal.
Did so you said that people weren't really going out. Was and you mentioned that impacted your work some. So like how did your school shut down for a while, or did it move to distance learning, or how exactly did that work?
Yeah, well, we shut down for a little bit. About a week we shut down, and we were paid a little bit, but it wasn't full pay. And then I think that the school itself, since it's private, they saw the future that this was not gonna go away for a while, and they had to do something. So
Yeah.
we started teaching online classes. We were kind of, not too hopeful that it would really work out, but I think so far it's worked out better than we thought. So
So it feels like maybe life might be returning a little bit to normal, if not a full normal yet. Would you say that's true?
yeah, I think so, but I think that South Korea is the exception.
Hmm.
I don't think that I don't think it's going to go this way in other countries, really. I try not to be pessimistic about it, but I
Sure.
think that the response here was like probably one of the best in the world. I mean,
Yeah.
hopefully, I mean, knock on wood.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're
So how
seeing cases. Oh, go
how
on.
how do you think Koreans have felt about this? Do you think like as it went on, like what have you read or heard from other Koreans, and what do you think their attitude towards the pandemic is?
I mean, I think that Korean people are a little bit different from American people in that when
Yeah.
there's like a public threat or something like that, I think that they tend to take it seriously, and I think they tend to listen to the government a little bit more. Like I'm not trying to say that you should always listen to the government, but if they're giving people advice, usually they listen here. And they were saying wear masks. They were saying practice social distancing, all these things, and people generally followed the rules and complied and things like that. And I mean, I think they were really concerned. There wasn't any panicking though. The only thing that people panic bought was masks. That was the only thing that was running out quickly.
Yeah, I don't know if you've heard, but here in the U.S., it's toilet paper.
Oh, I know. Well, I've got some here.
Oh, yeah,
That's not. I didn't plan on that, but
15-hour flight to San Francisco.
Yeah.
So switching topics a bit, you've studied the case and infection numbers quite extensively. I know talking to you becomes something of an expert on it.
Oh.
What do you think is going to happen next for the world in terms of this pandemic? And what recommendations do you have for people in countries where it's just starting to ramp up, based on your experiences?
Well, that's a huge question. I mean, like, I don't think really anyone knows how it will go.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm being completely honest with what I think, I don't think it's going to go well.
In
I
what
think
way?
that I mean, just the sheer number, like, different sources are starting to say that different countries might have like 60% of the people infected, and the official World Health Organization CFR, the case fatality rate is something like 3.4%, and that's at the lowest.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you do the math, that's millions. I mean, I don't think that it's pessimistic. I think it's realistic to say that with the worst case, it's millions of people that could die.
Yeah.
Each country is going to be different.
So what do you recommend for people who are living in places like the United States or other countries where this really hasn't taken off as much yet?
I think that in the States, it really just comes down to preventing it if you can. Like, you really just don't want to get it. And the fact is that you're not, like, you as a person, you're connected to so many different people. So even if you get it and you're fine and you still pass it on to other people, they might be more vulnerable. So you can't think in terms of just yourself with this, I think. You just wash your hands really well. I think avoid groups, only go out when you really need to. And I think just like take it seriously, really. I think that's really the biggest thing. Don't act like it's not a problem.
Yeah, it's good advice. Cool. So is there anything else you want people to know about this, about your experience there, or about, just your general thinking on the topic?
I mean, it's just it's really something like I get, excited about the fact that it's such a huge event. I mean, it's extremely like interesting to watch, but it's tragic too. And I think that like we're just a couple of weeks away from, some really bad things happening, right? I think that we just got lucky here in Korea and we managed to dodge a bullet for now. We don't know how it'll turn out, but
yeah,
I just want people to don't panic, but be concerned. I think.
I was reading a report from some health. It wasn't health officials in Korea, but doctors or something saying they think that while the new cases have subsided, that there'll still be enough community spread that they'll continue to see more, and it's more like it's leveled off the growth, but hasn't started shrinking the overall cases. So that'll be something to watch. And of course, here in the U.S., the whole social distancing thing really has started in San Francisco. Everything's been canceled. All the events, churches are canceling. Services, schools are out. And I'm starting to see this in other places, even like back home in Kentucky and Indiana. And so, I hope too that people can, that we can halt this thing in its tracks. But I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it's the other thing is that I think the thing that for me really was the most important part about the virus itself is that you can catch it and you can spread it without showing symptoms for anywhere between 2 days and like 2 weeks, maybe even longer. So you could have it and you could still give it to people. That's why it's so crucial.
That's the scary part. Okay, cool. Well, Stephen, it was great talking to you, and have a good rest of your evening and stay safe.
Yeah. See ya.
All right, bye.
Stay